The night had started like any other, until destiny decided to rewrite two lives that had never meant to cross. The air outside the Chicago airport was thick with drizzle, the kind that blurred car lights and made the city glow like a watercolor painting. Emma Parker stood under the glass canopy, clutching her suitcase, trying to hold herself together after missing her connecting flight to New York. Her career in fashion marketing had taught her to be composed, but tonight, she wasn't. Her heart was a mess. She had just ended a 4-year relationship, and the silence in her phone felt heavier than the suitcase in her hand. Across the same terminal, Ryan Miller, a freelance photojournalist, was scrolling through his camera's gallery. He had just returned from a long assignment documenting rural America, a job that had kept him away from home, friends, and normal life. He believed he'd seen every face worth capturing, until he saw her. Emma was struggling with her phone charger, clearly frustrated, her reflection flickering on the glass wall. Ryan hesitated for a moment, then approached, offering his portable charger with a shy smile. "You look like you could use this more than I do," he said. That was how it began, not with sparks or grand gestures, but a quiet, simple act of kindness in an airport full of strangers. They ended up sitting together in the waiting area, their flight delayed for another 2 hours. What started as small talk about travel and weather soon deepened into stories about life, dreams, and fears they hadn't shared with anyone in a long time. Emma talked about her dream of starting her own brand someday, a line that represented real women, not the perfection plastered across billboards. Ryan, in turn, spoke of his photographs, how he wanted his work to tell human stories, not just win awards. When their flight was finally cancelled, Ryan suggested they grab dinner nearby. They walked through the rain, sharing an umbrella and laughing at how absurdly cinematic the night had become. Over dinner, they spoke like old friends rediscovering each other after years apart. When Emma laughed, Ryan couldn't help but notice how her sadness softened into something beautiful. By the time the rain stopped, neither wanted to say goodbye. They exchanged numbers, promising to stay in touch. But life, as it often does, had its own timing. Emma returned to New York to face a crumbling job and a mountain of self-doubt. Ryan left for another assignment, chasing light and stories across the country. They texted for weeks, but distance blurred what they had started. Eventually, silence grew between them. Months passed. Emma's career hit a wall when her company downsized, leaving her unemployed and uncertain. Meanwhile, Ryan suffered a serious accident while covering a wildfire story in California, his camera destroyed, his confidence shattered. Both of them were lost in different worlds, unaware that fate was quietly drawing a circle to bring them back together. 1 year later, Emma stood in an art gallery in downtown Chicago. She was now freelancing, helping small brands find their voice online. The exhibition theme was Faces of America, and she was only there because a client had invited her. As she wandered through the portraits, one photograph stopped her cold. It was a black and white image of a woman standing under airport rain, her hand clutching a suitcase, her expression caught between heartbreak and hope. It was her. Her chest tightened as she turned to the side and saw the name of the photographer, Ryan Miller. He was there too, across the room, unaware that she had arrived. When their eyes met, the noise around them faded into silence. It felt like the year apart had been nothing more than an intermission, like the universe had simply paused their story until the time was right. They talked for hours after the gallery closed. Ryan told her how that photograph, taken moments after they first met, had changed his life. It had reminded him that beauty wasn't in perfection, it was in the fleeting, raw emotion of people who dared to keep going. Emma told him how that night had been the last time she'd truly felt alive before losing herself in work and disappointment. That night, they walked along the Chicago River, not as strangers but as two souls finally aligned. The city lights shimmered in the water, and Emma whispered, "Maybe it was never chance. Maybe it was destiny waiting for us to stop running." Ryan smiled, taking her hand. "Then let's not miss the next flight," he said softly. Their love didn't bloom overnight this time, it grew with patience, laughter, and shared struggles. Emma launched her own sustainable fashion line, with Ryan's photographs telling the story behind every piece. Together, they built a life that celebrated real moments, the imperfect, the unpredictable, the human. Years later, Emma often told friends that love doesn't always come when you're ready, sometimes, it comes when everything falls apart, when you least expect it, but need it most. Their story wasn't about being lucky. It was about two people who, by chance, were destined to meet, and by choice, decided to stay. In the end, their encounter at that airport didn't just change their destinations. It changed their lives.